Okay, so here's another unboxing, and as you can see on the front, it's from Everlast generators, plasma cutters, welders. This is the Everlast PowerPlasma 50. These guys are located in California. I ordered this, when was it? Last Monday, so it took them a week to get it to me. And they gave me a discount. I'm not going to tell you what they sold it to me for, but it was cheaper than what's advertised on their website. If you want some sort of a deal, then you should ask them. The link to this will be in the description box. So, okay, obviously here's the torch. It's a purple torch. Now I feel a little bit gay, but this torch is actually blue on their website, so I'm not sure why it's purple here. And it doesn't have any markings on it to tell me who makes it, but it looks to be the same style, just looks to be purple. So here's the cap, or the shield. It looks like it's plastic, but it's like a plastic covering over brass. There's the nozzle. And if you look at it, I don't know if that's focusing, but it's been used. So that means this has been tested. Everlast says they test everything. So, and as all of you know that are buying or interested in buying this machine, you'll know that this is a Chinese machine, and Chinese machines get a bad rap. I have Everlast iMig 200, if you look at my videos. Bought it, I think in October, I'm not sure. But still running strong, no issues, other than some dust in the fan that caused some issues. This is part of the consumables. I don't know how often this little ring goes out. This looks to be plastic. So you have, this is a consumable, but rarely needs to be changed. The tip obviously will need to be changed if that hole gets burnt up. And then you have your electrode right here that will need to be changed as well. If you look right inside of there, that'll burn down and you'll notice it. I'm not sure what the tolerances are on it. I have to look at the manual. But those are the consumables. Let's see if I can put this back together without breaking it. And these are just supposed to be finger tight. They're not supposed to be cranked down real tight. They're just supposed to be snug. I guess if you crank them down real tight, you end up messing up your consumables. So this is a 15-foot lead, which is really nice. My welder only has a 10-foot, so the extra 5 feet will come in real handy with this. And the plastic on the gun feels like it's good quality. I don't like that it's purple at all. It's got the ball pivot here on the end. Trigger feels good. It's all plastic. You know, it feels as good as the MIG, and the MIG's doing well. It's got this shielding. Feels like some, not necessarily rubber, but probably some sort of a polyurethane or polyplastic rubbery stuff. I don't know what you call it. So we'll talk about this connections in a minute when I get the box out. So let me set this aside. We've got our negative clamp, which is their standard, I believe they call that a Benz connector or Bins connector. Standard. The clamp is fine, all copper, lined. Spring's really nice. This would be easy to replace if you don't like the clamp, but it feels good. As far as like side loads and stuff like that on this joint, it feels like it's good. So looks good there. And this is completely awesome. They just saved me some money, which kind of pisses me off because now I need to go back to Home Depot. I bought a plug for this, and apparently I didn't need to. That's okay, because again, save me 15 bucks. I'm just going to have to go back to Home Depot to return it. Okay, so what we got in here is our air filter, water separator, air filter, whatever you want to call it. Technical name is your air filter, but you got your inlet air line goes into here, your outlet that goes into the machine goes that way. You can see because there's a little arrow on the top here, and this goes next to your machine. We've got this bracket that screws and then screws to the back of your machine. Your Everlast recommends that you should run another one of these, and I'm going to show you what I bought, and I'll give a review on this later. This is a Harbor Freight air filter. It's a 3/8, as you can see. There's no regulator on it. The reason why there's no regulator on it is because my compressor's got a regulator as well as the plasma cutter, so I didn't feel like I needed this to have a regulator. So I'm going to run this shortly after it leaves the compressor, not too close to it, because the air needs time to cool off for you to get the condensation out of it. But this will be run before this, and I'll let you guys know if that's enough. If I get any more, if I have any water issues. And I'll let you know if this is a piece of crap or not too. They give you an air hose. This is obviously going to go from the air filter to the machine, obviously with hose clamps. And actually, they gave me this plug, but this is not going to work, so I guess they didn't save me any money. This plug right here is, you can use it for 220. It is a 220. It's rated at 20 amps. You can see on here. I went and bought the same one I used for the welding, which is this one. You can get this at Harbor Freight. This box, it'll say 6-30P or 6-50P, and this is a Nemo plug, and this is the setup you'll do. And what that's going to do is allow for 50 amps. This is a 30 amp draw, this is 50 amp draw, and there's no difference in the plug other than what it plugs into. When you got your 30 amp plugs, they're going to look like that, and your 50 amp plugs look like that. So here's this. I'll show you guys how to set this up. I already have another video showing that for my iMig. The only thing that you have to be concerned about is the power cord that goes into here. You're going to need to wrap it in some rubber because it leaves a huge gap in here. But outside of that, it works fine. So, and I'm going to use this versus this other one because I don't have a plug like that in my shop. So they gave me one extra, I don't even know what the hell to call this. It's the cap, nozzle, whatever. They gave me what appears to be 5 of these. And we've got your male air connector, and then you have this barb type one, which you're going to attach this hose to and then go to your machine. 2 hose clamps, a whole crap load of fuses, the screws that I'll need. Let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tips, 5 electrodes. So that's awesome. They gave me plenty of, and they gave me this standoff. Now, what I will say is in the videos that you'll see for this plasma cutter, the standoff that they give you in the videos, and that they also show on the website, is this little wire crap that slides onto the end of the torch head, and it just sits on there like this. This does the same thing, but clearly is much higher quality. This is all metal. There's no plastic on here whatsoever. Looks like it rolls really, really well. Just unscrew it a little bit, just like a light, like a lampshade thing for bathroom lights or whatever lights inside your house. They just have these little things that you clamp down, and then it'll give you your height, and you just roll it along your piece of work. These are nice because you can use them as guides for straight line cutting. The only thing that you have to remember is to make sure that the wheels are lined up in the direction that you're going to drag this thing. So, but this is nice. This was unexpected. I'm glad they sent me that. I'm really happy with that. Okay, let me pull out the machine. And I'm not talking about my penis. Apparently my fiance thinks that that's embarrassing, because I just said that. She's the one holding the camera. Okay, so they give you the operation instructions. You got the packing list. Everything's been marked off here. Inspector. So that's kind of nice. They didn't give me one of these with my iMig, so this is kind of interesting that it's happening with this one. Just some basic stuff on here. This is actually, you can download this off of their website if you really want to get into reading this. Just go to the page. The link will be below, and if you look in there, there's 2 links. One's for the owner's manual, and one's for just some basic specs on the machine. So I'm not going to get into that. That's your job to go read that. So here's the machine. Hopefully it's not broken. Okay, since you're looking at the back, we'll start there. Again, if you look at these have been used. This machine has been tested. This has been attached to a plug, probably the one that's sitting there in that box. One thing I like about these machines is they have actual breakers back here. It's not just some crappy switch. It's an actual breaker. This is where you feed in your air line. This is obviously your fan. If you look up here, you have your tested and inspected stickers. Everything looks good so far. No dents, nothing like that. The reason why I'm bringing up the dent issue is that all of these Chinese companies, whether if it's Everlast or Longevity, have had issues with packaging in the past. UPS has a tendency, if you didn't know already, to throw shit around and not care that there could be a $1,000 piece of equipment in there, or more or less depending on which machine you buy. So shit was getting broken. Let me grab these leads so that I can show you how they connect real quick. So here's your torch. Obviously, the air fitting screws in here. Your ground, or your pilot arc, excuse me. That's what this is for, your pilot arc, not your ground. That connects onto there. I'm not going to put it on right now. And then you have your control here, and that just goes in here. Standard type fitting. If you have any experience dealing with audio or CCTV type stuff, this is a very typical type fitting. So here's where the fuse goes. I'm going to take it out and take a look at it. It's still good. Careful you don't cross thread that, I almost did. And your ground clamp goes right in there, and give it a quick twist. That's it, it's locked in. So here's your air pressure gauge, your regulator. Pop it out and then turn it to wherever you need it to. Obviously you need air pressure in there first. Push it back in, locks it in place. Here's your amp setting and your post flow setting. You either have a timed post flow or a constant flow. For those that don't know what post flow is, that's just your airflow. What it's going to do is after you're done, you let go of the trigger, it's going to allow the torch to continue to blow air to cool off the cut. So that's what this is for. It's important if you want a good quality cut where you're allowing the metal to cool off properly. This switch here is for the two types of torches. If you go out and if you intend on using this machine on a CNC table, you can switch the switch up and go buy yourself a standard CNC torch. Or for the manual torch, that's what I have, you just switch that down. So that's it, pretty basic. Yeah, that's about it. Subscribe, comment, like. Keep an eye out. I am going to open this box. I suggest, from my past experience with the IMIG and any of these Chinese machines, always open them up. Make sure there's no loose screws. One thing that I saw in a previous video from somebody else, when they screwed on their air regulator, which goes right here, there's some sort of a, I don't even know what it is. I'm not into electrical stuff, but it looked like some sort of a transformer. That's what he called it. That's right in here, behind these where these screws go in. And he had to cut one of his screws, this closer one, because it would touch it. So I'll let you guys know if that needs to be done. I'll have a video of this case being opened up and show you the insides of it. Alright, again, subscribe, comment, like. I'm going to have a link below to go to my Facebook page, show your support there. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.